Hi, friends. Happy Monday. This is my favorite part of the day. That sounds like my earbud. It's not working. Try the other one. Hello, hello. Hmm. Having a hard time with my earbuds today. There we go. All right. Let me change my volume a little bit. Okay. So I can hear you and you can now hear me. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Angela with Wild Violets Art. Today I'm going to show you some cards making the Autumn to Remember scrapbook kit and also the Autumn to Remember stamp set. So these are really sweet little additions that Stampin' Up! Is bringing back. I know some folks aren't into scrapbooking, but it brings me a lot of joy. I love scrapbooking my grandkids. Hey, Linda, thanks for joining. And so I'm going to show you some cute cards. Now, just as a reminder from last Friday, when I did my last Friday kit together, I showed you this kit, and they have these cute little faux wood cutouts. Let me see if I can get this to clear up. So you can see it's got like a grain look. It's not real wood, but it's got all these cute little things, sentiments, hearts, leaves, um, the trunk, little arrows, all kinds of goodies. And I've already taken out some of them. And I created this page, and then I added to this page. I added this one. I put this together after I was off screen. So this is our stepdaughter that passed away in July and her family. And so the kids get so happy. They were here this weekend and they were so happy to be able to see another page with their family in it. And I'm going to be journaling their thoughts and adding it to them. And then they'll be getting this album with a bunch of scrapbooking in it. It's just a great way to memorialize precious memories, times with their mom and their family together. So it's a huge change to them. And for the rest of their lives, they're going to need to have this information so that they can go back and be with those that they love. So these were two of the pages. I did them mostly like the kit. I changed a couple things. I added a different title, added another arrow, didn't put these arrows over here on this side. And then, of course, my photos didn't match the kit. So I had 3.5 by 5. So I made a couple of layers and added more photos. I had a little extra from this sticker strip that was down here below and added them up above to make them look like washi tape. So, or washi tape, however you say it. I get confused. And all of these are in Stampin' Up's website for sale. So there's obviously two more two-page layouts that I need to create from the rest of this, but I'm going to have scraps. And so some of those scraps I decided to utilize. Now, a lot of these sentiments would be great for a scrapbook page, but there's still sentiments in here that would work for a card. And some of these little critters are so adorable, so cute. I love the little deer, the little owl. They've got things in All Things Give Thanks. This would make a great card. Enjoy the last days of summer. It still can be in a card. And of course, just different embellishments. So they also come with 2 pages of um, die cut. And so you just punch them out. Some of them are for journaling, but some of them are just really cool elements to add to your scrapbook page. And then, of course, the designer series paper. And one of the things I'm featuring today is this two two-tone scrapbook paper. As you can see, it looks like I've got 6 different colors here, but actually what I have are Old Olive, Petal Pink, and Crushed Curry two-tone cardstock, and they have 2 different colors, one on each side. So it's really cool. All right. So as you can see from this card, I used a embossing folder, and then I took a piece of sandpaper and sanded over it to get this really cool effect. Now I also distressed the edges, and I folded it over so that you could see the color behind it. And I just thought it was such a pretty card, just really simple. This is one of the stickers, and this can be for any kind of a greeting. It can be, happy retirement, it can be a shower, it can be, anything, anybody moving. So change can be beautiful, and you can just incorporate that into any other kind of greeting. And then this one right here, I used another embossing folder, and I distressed it again with the sandpaper, giving it kind of showing that the white core coming through. So that's one of the things about the two-tone cardstock is it's printed color on a white cardstock. So the white shows through. So this just makes it look like an antique piece of eyelet. And then of course I crumple it to give it a little extra dimension. And then I used a couple of layers of the designer series paper from this kit. This little bunny in the middle is a sticker. These are the wood elements. I turned one over so it has the white. And this is another sticker with a sentiment. So you can see here, I used 2 of the leaves from the faux wood die cuts, and I flipped one over to give it a little bit of a white emphasis. So just really, really pretty. Now this stamp set, I love the leaves, little acorn. I haven't used everything, but I just made a simple Thanksgiving card that I think, is just a really easy make. And I'm going to make one similar to this, but even simpler. So we'll do that here in just a minute. Okay. So the Autumn to Remember stamp set, it's got all these pretty little leaves. You can see that this little banner right here is what I stamped in Mossy Meadow. And then of course my trees are in Mossy Meadow, Crushed Curry, and then the Copper Clay, one of the in colors. And then the sentiment is in Copper Clay as well. And then for the embellishments, I was using the adhesive back sequin trio and these neutral adhesive back sequins. So you can see from my scrapbook page, these sequins match perfectly because the gray matches the gray cardstock. The gold obviously matches the Crushed Curry colors. And then there's brown sequins that match the brown cardstock as well. So this is from last year, from last October, and just it's so fun to scrapbook these pages. Okay, so let's get to our card. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, now this is actually Cajun Craze, and it is part of the Autumn to Remember two-tone cardstock pack. So they have more colors in there than the kit. They had I'm trying to remember, pecan pie. They had the I just said it, Cajun Craze, and then they also had Mossy Meadow, in addition to the Crushed Curry, Petal Pink, and Old Olive. So there were some additional colors in there, and so I took a piece of 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece of this crushed curry. And as you can tell from the cardstock, this is the regular color and this is the lighter color. So you can see the two-tone cardstock. And then this one is petal pink. So there's a darker color and there's a lighter color. So you can use either one for whatever it is you're doing. And you can see that this one I use the darker of the two. Okay, so let me emboss this. I'm going to make something similar to this, but we're going to change it up a little bit. So this is the Distress Tile 3D embossing folder. And I love this pattern so much. And then just as a reminder, when you are lining up your, if your embossing folder has a specific pattern that goes straight up and down, you're going to want to line up your cardstock with the bottom, this little line that's on the embossing folder. And then I always put my binding or the folding of the embossing folder towards the roller. So when this comes out, immediately you can kind of start seeing some of the white show through. So you can see the white here. So then I just get a piece of sandpaper. This is Tim Holtz. You can use an emery board. You can use some of your husband's sandpaper, but I would use a really light grit. Something that's not very heavy duty because you really don't want to be roughing it up too much. And then you can distress the edge however you want. I tend to use my fingernails because I actually like it when the cardstock rips, because you'll find that where the 3D elements go into the paper, they tend to rip it just a little when you distress the edge, and it just gives it a very antique, cool, this looks like pressed tin from the turn of the century, and I really like that look. So it's just ripping where the cardstock was impressed really heavily with the embossing folder. Okay, so I'm going to use these on top of this instead of this one. And then I have a sentiment from the stickers that I want to use. And it just says, "Give thanks." Just make sure I've got it straight. I just have to find something that's parallel to my body. And then you can see that this is the cardstock that has the critters on it, and it's got the trees in the background. And this has got little triangles, but I like this little grid paper. So you could do the same thing with the two-tone cardstock that is part of the kit. All right, now I'm going to use some dimensionals to pop this up. And then I probably should attach this to my card base. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to very vanilla cardstock. So this is an A2 card. And I'm going to let the edges roll up because I just think it has a really cool look. Just kind of curling up the corners, curling up pieces in different places. Just giving it a really distressed look. Not everybody's into it, but that's okay. Yeah, the two-tone cardstock is so cool, and it's a great way to use it. Actually, some of your paper pumpkin that has solid colors to it, you can do the same thing. You can emboss it, and then you can just make a really cool pattern. It just makes it so pretty, just really, really unusual. Okay, so now I'm going to get and use more of the gold. It just kind of adds a little extra. And just putting it around the sentiment. Put this aside. Get some of the cute little wood elements. So I used some leaves last time, and let's see. That won't work around that. I don't want to take away from things that I need for my card or my scrapbook pages. So I think I will use this cute little wood tree because I think it matches really sweetly with, so we'll use these two leaves here. So I'm just going to, I think I'll pop these up. And then I'm just going to isn't that fun? So just a really simple card and just adding some of the elements from the scrapbook kit. So you can make the whole kit into cards. You don't have to make scrapbooks from it, but I think it's just great having, you know, some cards that are simple that already have the stickers to them, so you don't need to stamp. But if you like to stamp and you want sentiments, then I think that just doing a really simple card with the stamps are really great too. Okay, so we're going to use, let me get my blocks. So I'm going to use some of the same elements that I used before, but I'm just going to change it up a little bit and not put the designer series paper. So just kind of planning it out and then putting my little leaves. Actually, I don't want to use this, I've decided. I just want to use these two things. Just making a really simple card. Okay. Now I have crushed curry, copper clay, or you can use Cajun craze, whatever you want, and then mossy meadow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this in. If you start with a really light color, then it's really easy just to then add your darker colors, and you don't have to do a dauber or something like that or a marker. Okay, so I want my sentiment to be in the middle. And honestly, I think that's just such a cute look. I love the simplicity of it. And sometimes simple cards are all you need. Whoops. And I forgot my bountiful blessings. And I'm going to bring the font all the way up to my little trees. Isn't that cute? It's just, like I said, super simple card, but I think it's really, really cute. And it doesn't have to be hard and fussy. You can just do something really simple, and you can see that it just took me a moment to do that because I did the yellow first and then inked up one of the trees in the copper clay and inked up one of the trees in the mossy meadow, and my crushed curry is not going to hurt either one of those stamp pads. And then I can just add this to a card base. I can add another layer. This layer probably won't work because it's got the petal pink, but I could use the Cajun Craze, or I could use the Mossy Meadow, or the Copper Clay, or even the Crushed Curry as a layer, and then put it on a card base. So now I'm going to just put some more of these. I love these little sequins because they don't add bulk to your card, and so it's really easy to got a little something there. They're really easy to mail, so you don't have to worry about too much bulk. You can see that the card's really thin, and I just popped up a couple of layers. So I'm going to want to add another color to kind of get maybe just a little edging of a different color, and then I can complete my card. So that's all I have for you today. This was a really short one, but I just wanted to show you some ideas on making some really pretty cards. Using this two-tone cardstock is so worth it. It's so pretty, and I just love it. This one is my favorite, just how elegant and simple it is. You don't have to have tons of things on here because you really want this pretty paper and technique to shine. So I hope you have a great evening. Enjoy it. Enjoy the family. We went to a Vikings game yesterday. We had the grandkids before that. It was a really busy weekend, but it was a lot of fun. So I hope you had a great weekend as well. If you're watching this later on YouTube, please click like and subscribe, and or share it with a friend. I appreciate all the business. And on my Facebook, the more you love things rather than like it, the better it shows up on the algorithms. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.